What's up guys, Joe here with Tradger Farms. Welcome to my gear vault. It's something that we did in the basement here in my little office that I really have been loving. You can see I just kind of keep everything organized in totes. I have some markings with Sharpie and tape just on different categories to keep things organized. For example, this is all camera stuff, fluid heads, tripods, things like that. We have trail cameras, saddle gear, all sorts of stuff really, from backpacking, hunting, and for myself on photography and things like that. There's so many little knickknacks that get lost, or sometimes I'd have most of the stuff in the garage, half of it in the house, whatever it was going to be, and this has just made it so much better. Things that are dirty, of course, I still leave out in the garage, but camping gear, whatever it may be, just to have it all here. Guns, still haven't gotten a gun safe, so you can see I have to keep some things a little bit higher being in the basement, so if we get a little flooding, they're out of the way. But it's been amazing. So if you haven't found some way to organize most of your stuff, highly recommend something like this. We got this shelf, I believe, at Costco. It's super sturdy. It's probably way overkill. I think it's rated for like 2,000 pounds a shelf or something, which this will never have on it, but I thought it looked good and I wouldn't need to worry about, nice stuff like weapons falling and shelves breaking, things like that. But today I wanted to talk to you about the GoPro Hero 9. We've had it for over a year now, or somewhere around a year. We've used it pretty extensively. I think I've been using it more and more. So I wanted to take a second, talk about the things that I really like, things that maybe it's not quite as good for, and so you guys can make your own decision if it's something that you want to use in the future. Here is the GoPro 9 in its normal form, just on a kind of a regular little grip, if you will. This is something that I can attach to trees, the ATV, even a fence post, put it right back viewing at me, used for a lot of my videos. I don't know if you remember when I first started this channel and really its focus on the farm and the habitat changes when it comes to whitetail deer and things of that nature, but I remember the very first video, I'll link it, and carrying around the DSLR that I'm recording with right now. It's a mirrorless Canon EOS R 24-70 lens with an external mic, and I remember just walking with the camera around like this and holding it, and after a minute or two, I was probably shaking. It was so hard to hold and talk and focus on what I was doing, it being so heavy. And now I later realized that the technology on these and the price point as well make it great. I can get 4K video. I have very little crop. I believe there is a little bit of crop, just like the EOS R that I have. Some cameras, and what I mean by crop is they zoom in a little bit, if you don't know what that is. So if you're trying to get a wide angle shot close up, it can be tough when you go to 4K. And it actually goes above that, I think 5K or 2160, whatever the number is on these GoPros. So for the quality, the price is great. Also the size. I love being able to just carry this around, put it where I need to. I can even, there's so many different mounts. You can break this apart, you can put it right on the grip. In my truck, I use a suction cup to do little videos in between places, save time, talk to you guys about something that's on my mind. They sell little pieces on Amazon to protect the covers, lots of different attachments. While we're on the topic of attachments, I guess I'll cover that a little bit. I also use a media mod on the GoPro. There was a little wind cover that went onto the speaker here, however it fell off somewhere. It was very easy to come off, so that was a little bit of a negative. But you can still charge the GoPro. There's these little ports here and little flaps, things like that. But if you do want to get to the SD card, you have to pull it off and take it out, which is not a huge deal. The media mod gives you this external speaker, but it also gives you these little shoe mounts, if you can see that here. And the shoe mount allowed you to slide in either an additional microphone if you wanted one, or an external light, which I do have another one that I bought off of Amazon for like 20 bucks, and different things of that nature, which is honestly one of the main reasons why I bought this media mod. It wasn't really the microphone, which I'll link back to the first GoPro video that I did, and we kind of tested the microphone out. There wasn't a huge difference really, in my personal opinion, with the microphone, so it is what it is. But being able to have a light or different attachments on here can make it very convenient, and just all of these attachments that GoPro has. Some that I also use is this head mount. It's also very cheap, but you're able to screw the GoPro right onto here, put this on your head if you're walking and have your hands free. So if you guys either have your own channels or maybe you want to start self-filming or doing something, it's really nice to be able to have your hands free or attach it somewhere, let the GoPro do its thing, and then you guys can go back and edit what you want later. Additionally, they have these little clips that I also like, and there's a sticky on the back of some, and I'm going to put this on, I think, my chainsaw helmet. So when I'm wearing my muffs and I have my helmet on there and I'm running the chainsaw, I can attach the GoPro right to the helmet, where this might be kind of uncomfortable on my head under the helmet, trying to get video with my hands free and use the chainsaw safely, of course. New this year really was that suction cup in the truck. It's never fallen off the truck. Was pretty reasonably priced, so I do like that attachment if you're already using GoPros. Additionally, I bought this remote. It costs a little bit more, but it was fairly easy to sync up. I haven't used it a ton, but I have tested it out, so I'm not gonna beat around the bush regarding that. And it did work pretty well when I used it. The only thing with this, especially if you guys are gonna be using the GoPro for hunting, is that there was a little delay between, I don't leave my GoPro running the entire hunt and then cut out, 2, 3, whatever hours of stuff. It seemed kind of crazy to me. I try and know when something's happening, or I hear some noises or whatever it's going to be. I see a deer and I can click the button. Well, what I wanted to do is use this remote and put it into my muff, where I usually have my release, a hand warmer, and things like that. So it is another thing to have in your pockets and can get in the way and be a little bit of a pain. They do have a Velcro strap if you wanted to put it around your wrist or something like that. But there was like a 5-second or so delay. I haven't timed it, but it seemed like there was a little bit of delay to where if I know something's coming and I might be shooting in, who knows, a few seconds, and I hit this delay, I'm not going to have time to double check the GoPro, make sure it's recording, make sure it's started before that deer is coming within range and I'm getting a shot off. And I also want to say that one click might have been to turn it on and another to start recording. I don't remember that exactly from a couple months ago when I first tried it, but it was a little iffy. And sometimes, if you're coming in with saddle gear and you're setting up all this stuff and you're self-filming and you already have all this camera gear, it was just one thing to add to it, and I don't know if I will continue to use it or not. Probably test it a little bit more. One of my goals for the channel has been also to bring some hunts, which I haven't been very good at, but for those of you that may be in a similar situation, when you do 10-15 hunts, you bring out all your camera gear, you set up, and you're not having a lot of action, it can be pretty tough on the mind trying to do that over and over again until it works, which is something you got to do if you want to get mature deer on film, especially when you end up shooting one. So but that's really it for attachment wise. Things that have been a little bit tough that I haven't liked as much of the GoPro is when it comes to low light situations. I've actually had a couple comments on the previous video I did when I first got the GoPro, and they were really right. If you want to use this, maybe you're first starting, you don't have a regular camera, and you want to try using this for your overall filming, not just you, but you want to point it maybe towards the deer, get the shot and everything. It's going to be tough, not only because, of course, you can't zoom and things of that nature, but also because most of the time we're getting those shots, at first light or in the evening when we're getting into a low light situation, and things get very grainy when that happens. You're not going to have good video quality. You might actually be seeing much better than what the GoPro is picking up, and it would essentially ruin the video in its entirety. Now, did you lose out on too much? No, it doesn't take very much to throw this in your pack, clip it on a tree limb or whatever it's going to be. So it's not the end of the world if that does end up happening. But if you are really set on getting good video, you want the ability to do different things, bokeh, whatever, get fancier, you're not going to be able to do that with the GoPro. And not being able to get decent low light, controlling an aperture, things of that nature like you would on a DSLR or mirrorless camera, then the GoPro is probably not going to be for you. But all in all, like I said in the beginning of this video, for the price point, all the advantages seem to really, be worth the money for one of the new GoPros. The only other thing I would say that has been a little bit troublesome, and I didn't have too much of an issue when I was hunting, and I didn't have too much of an issue last year. Maybe it's because it was warming up, and when I bought this, kind of more towards the spring. But just recently, some of you may have noticed that in the cold weather, I've had some trouble keeping the GoPro recording. It would be on a completely full charge, sitting in the house. I would take it out to the field, do some video, and it would either maybe be in the teens, But I even had one day, just this past video of me on the four-wheeler, you know, it was 30-something degrees, and the GoPro shut off 2 or 3 times before I quit and got my phone out. And it was a little disappointing because 30-something degrees, I would expect that the GoPro would have no issue staying warm enough to keep running with a full battery, you know, everything working properly, SD card formatted, things like that. And it didn't. It shut down. It was kind of disappointing. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe there's some other research we can do on you know, temperatures, but I would think, you know, 30 degrees or so with low wind would not be too much of an issue. I did have it on the four-wheeler a little for a couple of minutes, so maybe the wind had some sort of an effect. If you guys have experience with that, please let me know. But I immediately came home. It was my wife's idea, actually. I tested the GoPro, I turned it on after being inside for just a little bit, and it continued to record for minutes and minutes and didn't shut down. So it does turn back on. When it does shut down, it just says like low battery. It's not getting a proper reading, but still a big pain if you would happen to be in a cold weather hunt, or you're doing a video and you're in the middle of talking and you got to redo everything. So that was one other gripe that I've had. But other than that, guys, that's really the main downfalls for walking around, for doing your own videos, for being able to set it up. Additionally, I like that when you turn this on, I'm going to show you here real quick. Actually, I'll try and turn it on. It's very easy to do like a time lapse and things of that nature. Things where on a DSLR or mirrorless camera, you might be going through different menus. You know, there's 6 different tabs and 5 different sub tabs under those tabs, and depending on how much you use it, it can be a pain to go through and find a time lapse mode and things of that nature. And on this, if you guys can see that, on the bottom, that black circle, it says 4K, 30 frames per second, linear, but you have 4 different categories. You can preset different you know, settings and have those ready to go pretty much at the click of a button. Also, if I bring this back up and I swipe, you can see it goes to a time-lapse mode. So there's a video, picture, and time-lapse mode, and really you can just swipe your finger and toggle back. So if I'm talking to you guys and I want to go hop on the ATV or do something that maybe is not so exciting but it's just fun to watch, I can put it in that time-lapse mode and I can start recording, change it right back to video, and keep on rolling. So if you're also maybe thinking of starting your own channel, or there's something that you just love to talk about, you want to share it with everyone else, this is a great way to get started. Like I said, good quality. If you have enough sun, you have enough light, you're getting amazing video. It's lightweight. You know, there's good settings on here, slow motion settings, time lapse, picture, video. Haven't tested the pictures very much. I prefer to use, of course, my nicer camera that I'm recording on right now if I'm going to do that. But I hope this helps some of you guys. If you have additional questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But regardless, please hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time.